What's happening, tubers? Tio here, Simplistic Fishing, back at you tonight for more lake breakdowns. That's right, we are on video number 5. That's right, 5 videos for Lake Belton, and we still have one more after this one. Tonight, we're going to keep breaking down that western side, I guess you could say, of the bank line. We already covered the east side. Now we're kind of starting to work our way back down the west side. Lots of good stuff to uncover in this one. Stick around. I know you're going to like it. Let's go. Let's jump back in and let's talk about Lake Belton. First off, on the left-hand side, the way that we have it sorted out, if you've missed any of the videos before, is we've really got it sorted out in a couple different categories over here on the left. So you've got the Texas Park and Wildlife fish attractors. There weren't too many of them. I think there were 4, so you can see them down in here. You've also got all the channels and ditches that are available on the lake. So I've gone through and I've made tracks on each one of those channels and the ditches so that you can position your boat correctly to be able to catch more fish. Also, different types of rock formations that you can check out, boulders, stuff like that, rock piles, all kinds of good stuff. Wood, so there's plenty of timber, laydown, stick ups, all that good stuff. You've also got other kinds of cover as well. So debris, just places to check, tires, pipes, all kinds of stuff on this lake. And then last but not least, all the different boat ramps that are out there. And you guys heard me talk about that a lot, but that's a really good pattern to fish, to be able to fish on, and that's just fishing the boat ramps. So let's go ahead and move this over here to the left. And up on my timeline, I'm going to be using 2011 and 2012 mainly for my images. And we're going to start basically where we left off at last time. I'm drawing this back so we can get this back where we want it. So I think that looks pretty good. Not good enough. 2011. Nope. It's going to be the best that we get right there. All right, so we're going to leave it there around 2011. And again, I'm probably going to have to move it back and forth between 11 and 12 every once in a while just to be able to see what we want. But if you've missed the previous videos, what we've done is we started down here at the dam. We worked our way all the way up the north side of the lake. We came back down on the last video and ended right here at the edge of this point right here where this little transition area is. You can see where there's some rock, and then all of a sudden it gets into this really lighter area. And there was some heavier rock there. If I move it up to 2012, I believe it was, you can see that rock a lot better. That image is not as bright. So that's where we're going to start today. We're going to keep moving up. Just a real quick kind of, I guess, quick little ad here. Make sure to go out, check out our site, simplisticfishing.com. Not only do we have the waypoints for this lake, but we also have the waypoints for almost 70 other lakes out there within Texas, and we're continuing to add more each and every month. I'm working on Lake Livingston right now. Stillhouse is out there. I've got just several ones that I'm continuing to add. So make sure to go out and check it out. You can grab these waypoints, and basically what you do is you import them into your graph so that you see these on your graph while you're out there fishing. So let's say that you just wanted to fish boat ramps. Easy enough. You pop the card in, you pick out all the boat ramps, and you go. Maybe that one's already on your map. So let's pick out a different one. Let's say you want to go fish rock. Well, you can literally pull up the map and see all the different areas of the lake that has the rock. And then if you're running that pattern, it makes it super easy for you. So go check it out, simplisticfishing.com. Let's go ahead and jump into this breakdown. So I believe this is episode 5. So let's, man, this was taking forever. So we stopped there on the rock. We're going to go up here where this Owl Creek Park is. And really what you see here is just a little river channel. I don't know how good this area would be from a fishing standpoint, but there is a pretty decent little creek channel there. And if I move it back to 2011, you can see that creek channel a lot better. So not only do you have a creek channel there, but you've also got a boat ramp. So right here around the edge of this boat ramp could be a really good area to fish, especially with that creek channel being right there. And then of course you could move on up the creek channel and you see these different piles that are out there. There's a brush pile right there. There's a brush pile up here right on the inside corner there. And there's a couple more piles that are right here as well that you can see. They're pretty significant. Now, I know you're like, man, that doesn't, why would I go up there and fish? Well, trust me, if we move the lake all the way up to 2022, those piles are now submerged. that river, that creek channel's out there, that boat ramp submerged. So these are all good areas to go look at. So let's move this back to 2011 or 2012, and we'll keep moving down here and see what else we can find. All right, so that takes us to 6 of 2012. So as we move down here away from Owl Creek Park, next thing we're in Bear Creek. Really, you just got a couple creek channels here, so I've marked the creek channels for you. And then if you look really closely over here on this left-hand edge, this looks like a really good spot to be able to find some fish. Look at these boulders that are over here. You've got standing timber as well. You've got these boulders, and you've got a creek channel that's running right up against it. So again, if we move that water up to 2022, of course, that one's 1 of 2022, and that's when it's been low. Let's go back to 2021. Those boulders, you can kind of see them. So I'm thinking fish right around, the edges are right around in here, especially if the water's up, you're going to fish all up in here. But this would be a pretty good area to try to locate some fish, especially come springtime. I think that's going to be a really good area to take a look at. All right, so let's go back to 2011. You can see this lake really fluctuates a lot. As we move further down here, we've got another little creek channel. So, anytime you're fishing, you want to fish around these ditches. What I like to do is I like to find the openings of them, which would be right here, and fish around the openings for sure. And then obviously anywhere it makes a turn or a bend, same thing as a creek channel. Those are the areas that I would be mostly focused on if I was in fishing something like that. All right, so let's keep moving down. Let me show you where I'm at. We're just south of Highway 36, and we're going to hit this point right here. And right off the edge of the point, yes, there's a ton of rock on this lake, but there's certain things about this rock that kind of give you some keys on what to look for. And right here's a really good point. If you look right here, right off this point, you've got good boulders, but there's one of them that's right out here that's going to be submerged when the water's actually up to normal pools. So definitely take a look at that. And then if you get back in here, in this little pocket, you've got some laydowns. Again, a good springtime thing, maybe a fall time thing as well. But definitely go back there and, check out those laydowns. Maybe you can flip around them, stuff like that. As we move a little further down this bank line, one thing to notice and I talked about it on some of the other ones, but one thing to notice about this bank line coming up is the shade lines. So you definitely get some shade on this bank line for sure. And it almost looks like, if you're looking at it, of course, we haven't looked at the contours yet, but it looks like the main river channel swings down here, and it likely comes up against this. This looks like a deeper bank. You can tell it's not as flat as all the other ones. So on this bank line, this could be good for that reason. One, that's a channel swing. Two, because it has the shade. And then the third thing would be just, trying to find those unique rock formations that are on there. So right here is a really unique one. It's a really big boulder that's just right on the outside edge of that. All right, so as we move further down here, just wanted you to check this. This looks like a brush pile or something. Let's see if we can draw it back. No, we can't go any further back than 2011. If we draw it back up to 2012, you can kind of see that it looks like some timber, maybe a brush pile. I'm not sure what it is, but that might be worth checking, especially you crappie fishermen that are out there. That might be definitely worth going and looking at. All right, so let's keep moving on down the river channel here. The next thing we see off of these two sides, just a couple different laydowns here. You can see we're starting to see a little bit of timber. So there's some laydowns here. There's some laydowns there as well. If I draw that back to 2011, you'll see them even better. There you can see them as well. The thing I like about these laydowns too is you got one right there and one right there, but there's also a little bit of a ledge right there as well. So that could be a pretty good area right there. Main lake, right off the edge of the point. Again, creek channels probably, or river channels probably somewhere in this area, and that could be a steeper area as well. As we move in through here and we go over here off of this little pocket, off the main drag here, we just got a couple things to look at, some laydowns to look at there, one there, and one in the back of that pocket. Nothing too crazy going on in that pocket that I could see, from a Google Earth standpoint. Now, as we move down here, we're just following the river down. Next thing would be this little pocket. It's got a pretty nice little creek channel that's right here. And one thing that I didn't notice last time is notice how there's discoloration right here off of this point. And it also looks like there could be some standing timber right in here as well. So you may want to try this point as well. You've got a nice little creek channel that floods out into it. And the outside, we always we even talked about it on the ditches, get to the openings of those ditches and fish right around the front edges of them. that's usually going to be a pretty good area to take a look at. All right, so let's keep moving on down through here. We're going to come around this corner, and the next thing that we're going to find is really just some more unique rocks. So if you look here, most of the bank line is pretty well, it's not defined rock, it's not big chunky rock or anything like that. But if you look right here, just in this little spot, you got a lot of little pebbles, or not little pebbles, they're going to be a lot bigger than that, but some chunk rock and stuff like that that's right in here. Plus you have some standing timber. So that could be a good area to check out as well. Of course, you got your big swings coming on down here. We talked about that a couple videos ago, but you got a nice big channel swing coming down here. This bank line, you want to go down this bank line and really do a lot of scanning. Figure out where your ledge is on that river channel. And that's, you want to focus on the top of that ledge. If they get up on the top of that ledge, it's going to be a good place to find them or to catch them. And then you also want to look for pushed up brush piles, debris, stuff like that. That's going to be all around where the swing is. So definitely take a look at that. Even up in here, where maybe the swing comes down here and you get off on the inside of it, you can find some pushed up debris as well. So definitely see what you can find from just doing a lot of scanning in that area. I think you'll find some underwater brush, cover, stuff like that you can fish around. All right, so as we come up that swing, we get to the very end of it. Right when you get to the very, very end, right up here, you've got some really good little rock piles. You got one right here. It's got some really good boulders, and then this one looks really juicy. It's got big old boulders to be able to fish around, and it's coming right off the edge of that swing. And a lot of times you'll hear people talk about the best places to fish on the bluff walls or the very ends. Well, this isn't necessarily a bluff wall, but it's pretty close. It's pretty deep, and that's right on the end of that little deep swing that's swinging out. Actually, I guess this would technically be the end of it before it probably starts turning, but this area is going to be a high percentage area for sure. All right, so let's move on up. We're going to look at these 2 points that are right here. Again, just some more unique rock that's right here, just those little individual rock piles. And again, those can be good for sure. As you move back in here, you've just got some debris back in there. Nothing too crazy, but a nice little pocket for fall and the spring. You've also got some additional rock that's up here. I like this one because if you notice, and I'm all about it, you'll notice some shade that's right there. And so the shade means that has some, that's either tall or whatever it is, but it's definitely something that is deep enough to where they can hide behind it. And if they can hide behind it, then you definitely want to go fishing. So that is why I marked that one. I really like that, the way that sets up. And then I also like the way that, it looks different than everything else that's around it. All right, so as we swing over here, I'm going to show you where I'm at. So we've gone around the bend. We're right here on the inside now. So as we do that, we talked about that point. There's a laydown that's right over here. You can just kind of see it. Let me move this out of the way for you. Right there. That could be a good spot, definitely, to go a targeted laydown. Definitely one you could just spend some time on. You've also got all this different timber that's out here too, so you could flip all these trees that are out here and see what you could find. That could be really good if you go out there with a jig and just flip around those trees. I've had a lot of good days just flipping around these types of stick ups. I don't know what it is about those types of trees or whatever it is, but they are just magnets for bass. So definitely go take a look at those. All right, so let's keep moving down. We're getting down here close to Cedar Creek. When we get to the first part right in here, just this little cove. This cove looks like it could be killer in the fall for sure. But if you look in here, it's got some really good boulders, some really good stuff for them to hide around. A laydown right there, some big boulders, some really good depth. Again, you see that shade line, so you've got a little bit of a ledge going on there as well. A lot of good things going on in that little pocket. Same thing here. This is a nice little pocket to fish as well. It's got some stick ups in it. And then if you look really closely, it's got some really big boulders sticking out right over here. So that always looks interesting to me, especially when they're main lake like that. I love main lake little pockets like this. These seem to be really good. So definitely look at those. There's a certain time of year when you want to fish them. Really, it's like early summer when you can find these pockets off the main lake when they first start going out, or late summer, they'll come into those pockets as well. So you definitely want to take a look at that. And of course, they'll probably always be there, but that just seems when I have the most success, just focusing on those little main lake pockets like that. As you move down here, just some more additional rock. Notice everything's a lot different just right in here, and then everything goes back to normal, I guess you could say. So as you move down here, we get more timber, more stick ups. You can see them just lining up the side all through here. And when the water's up, you might not realize that those are there. This is an image with the water up. Let's go back to 2020. The water's not all the way up here. It's actually down a little bit, but you can see those stick ups aren't nearly as obvious. So those stick ups could have some really good potential. If you got on that pattern, there's plenty of them here for you to be able to run up and down the lake and fish them. And my guess is they're probably not as pressured as some of the other stuff because they're a little bit more difficult to fish than just going down the bank line with your fast moving crankbaits and stuff like that. And you can see they litter the bank line here. You can see more here, but really that section right there, main lake like that, I like the way that sets up. You got some more in that pocket too. You got a nice little creek channel that comes through here as well that you can check out. And then I'm going to pull this back a little bit. So here's Cedar Creek. I'm going to show you guys where we are. We started way up here at this point. We came down, we went around this bend, and then we came up right in here. And so now that's where we're going to be. We're going to be on the top half of this up here. So let's zoom in, see what we can find. Obviously, all those stick ups we talked about, some unique little rock formations right off these points. There's one right there. This one's really good because it's got the bigger, chunkier rock. Plus, it has, let's see if I can change that view so you can see it a little bit better. There you go. Now you can tell the way the rock changes. Plus, it has that timber that's out there too that you could see back in 2011. So those 2 points, I really like the way those points look. You got to lay down here as well. Of course, more stick ups. There's stick ups everywhere, all in this area. All these stick ups right in here too. I mean, you could just run the stick up pattern and just have a good old time all throughout this whole bank line right here. There is some things that are a little bit unique right in here. You've got some more chunkier rocks. You can kind of check there. Check the sides where the transition areas are. Those are usually high percentage areas as well. You got lots of stick ups in there as well. More stick ups, it's stick ups and stick ups. And then when we get back in here, we've got some pretty decent little creek channels that you could go back and check out. It's all going to be depending on when the water's up, stuff like that, the water level. But you definitely have a couple little creek channels you could check out. Nothing too crazy. As we move down here, we're going to get around this little point that comes out. I like this point. Just pretty much just fishing anywhere around this point. You can tell the river channel goes like this and swings this way. So you know that everything's going to push up right in this area. There could be a lot of underwater debris and stuff like that in this area as well. Brush piles, all kinds of stuff. So if you're out here scanning, you want to basically draw a little square right here in this area and scan a lot, right all in through here and just see what you can find. I'm telling you, this is going to be a good spot to try to find some fish. But as you look over here, we've got some additional rock and stick ups that are off this bank line, some more stick ups, some more boulders. But this is probably where it starts getting a little bit deeper. Definitely fish around this thing, whatever it is, if you're allowed to. And then over here on the bank line, you can see some more boulders right in here. Another unique little rock pile going on right there. All those stick ups again. It's like the stick ups started up here and they just scatter this entire bank line. Then we're going to get a little bit further down through here. We're going to move over and we'll see this little creek channel that comes here. Nothing too fancy about the creek channel, but again, depending on the time of year, late fall, when they really start focusing on those creek channels and pushing the shad back into those creek channels and stuff, these can be really deadly areas to find fish, especially with that water flowing in if it's been raining and stuff like that. Then we move over here. We've got some more rock that's right here off of this point. Kind of a hard spot, but I like how it sets up because of where that creek channel's at. So maybe set up there and just see if you can find anything hovering around that point. As we move a little bit further down, we're getting into a lot more stick ups again. It's so weird how the stick ups are only on this side. We didn't have nearly as many stick ups on that side. But as we move here, we're going to start seeing a lot of them. So I'll just point them out to you. But there's your stick ups. This is your big rock pile right off of a point, main lake point, potentially a river channel swing, possibly. I don't know if it comes up this far, but it's in the right area for sure. You've also got more stick ups in here, and then you've got some more rock that's right in there too. Rock being big, chunkier boulder rock to be able to fish around. Lots of stick ups down in here. Nothing too crazy that really caught my attention. I do kind of like how this comes out a little bit It looks like it has a hard spot right here on the edge, but I don't know if the water ever gets deep enough for that to really come into play. As you move further up here, we've got more rock off this point. Notice the little transition area going on right there, right off the edge of that point. And then you've also got some really big boulders right here on the shoreline too that you could check out. Moving further down, we just got some more of that chunkier rock. You can see here the boulders. You've also got a little bit of shade going on. This boulder is pretty big. It's so big it provides its own little cast right there of shadows. So pretty cool. More stick ups. This is a nice little main lake pocket with some stick ups in it. That could be a good spot to look. You've also got stick ups all the way over here, just kind of scattering out throughout this bank line. A whole bunch of them. And then we get down here to this part right here across from Morgan's Point. And this is the Texas Park and Wildlife Fish Attractor number 4. So it's kind of a weird place for them to put it, but it's right there by all those stick ups. But somewhere in there, there's a fish attractor site you can go check out. And then as you move further down, you can see we've got some laydowns that are over here, some more stick ups out here. I love all those stick ups. I could just fish all day. Those things are so much fun. Laydowns there as well. And then if you look right here, we've got a nice little island that comes out here with a little bit of a saddle that's going on right through here. Depending on if the water's up, if you can get the water up high enough, this saddle and fishing close to the saddle and around the saddle could be a pretty good area to find some fish as well. Let's keep moving up. We've got a couple more minutes and then we'll have to cut off the video. Looks like we're not going to be able to come anywhere close to finishing this thing up. This one's taken us a lot longer than what I had expected, but I think it's a really good lake breakdown. Hopefully you guys feel the same way. But again, as we move up here, just showing you multiple laydowns. We get in through here. These are where you get your unique little rock formations. Look at that one. That one's huge. Got another one right here. Need to move that down a little bit to that rock. And then here we've got more stick ups, more chunkier rock going on here. I like the way these bank lines go. You've got the stick ups. Maybe just focus on where the stick ups are and the rocks. So try to just eliminate it, maybe so it's not so much because there is a ton of stick ups. Or maybe just focus on the stick ups that are on creek channel swings or are off main lake point, something like that. So try to narrow it down a little bit more. Maybe that should be able to help you. As we get over here, again, we're seeing lots of different rocks. Just big rocks and stick ups and things like that to check out. We also have a Texas Park and Wildlife Fish Attractor site that's right here. So you can go check that out. That's their third one. This brush is probably too high up. I'm going to go ahead and delete it. I think when I was looking at it, I thought the bank line was way up there, but it's actually a little bit further down. Same thing for this laydown. I'm going to go ahead and delete that one too. And on this rock, I just wanted you guys to check this out because there's something different here. Notice how you've got the little pebbly rock here or what it looks like to be chunk rock or something, but all the rest of it around, it's almost just perfectly smooth. So look out here. There's where the rock is. You should be able to see it on the bank line and then come out away from the bank line and see what you can find out here. Also right here, this little patch of rock or whatever it is, this can be a good area to take a look at as well. So I'm going to move this over. Actually, I'm just going to copy it. And then I'm going to paste it. And then we're going to move it over to that other place so that way you guys have two of them. We're not going to move it over because it's not going to let me. So we're just going to do this. We're going to have it for next time. Perfect. And so we will actually, let's move down. We're going to stop on this point right here. There's another Texas Park and Wildlife Fish Attractor that's right here. Again, really close to those stick ups. Those stick ups are right here and their attractor site's right there. I'm going to remove this rock up here. And then we're going to move on down. I'm going to move that one too. Sorry about all these that are up here. I must have been thinking the bank line was way up that high. It was not nearly that high. And then out here, we've actually got some tires that are out here. So let me see if I can show you a better image where we can actually see these tires. Because I came across these tires and I was like, oh, I love fishing the tires, especially throwing on a big old Carolina rig. And then finding those tires and just dragging them over. I might have to zoom in here to be able to find it. I don't see them on this exact image. That might be them right there, but somewhere, sometime, Google gets tricky sometimes, and sometimes you can't find the right images to be able to find the tires. This might be, maybe it was here. There it is. move this out of the way. There's your tires right in there. So that could be tires too, right there. Could be 3 or 4 of them right there on that point. So definitely go check that out. Let's go ahead and end there on those tires. When I come back, we're going to keep working our way up this northwestern side, and then we're going to come back down towards the dam and maybe get done in the next video. Might take us one more video, but it doesn't really matter. We're just going to finish up Lake Belton. Hopefully you guys check us out, simplisticfishing.com. I hope these lake breakdowns are helping you guys out. If you have ideas for other lakes, just make sure you send them over to me, put them down in the comments, and I'll be sure to add it to my breakdown list. Until next time, guys, I hope you catch your PB. Take it easy.